All right. I'd like to start out by saying Barakateh Hawa, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakodash. All right. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is The More Technology Evolves, the More It Stays the Same. And pretty much this lesson is inspired by something that Elder Pastor had said a few days ago, I believe it was. Or maybe it was last week, I can't really remember. Concerning, Priest Anyala and the documentary he has coming out called Karagma, and how he said he interviewed Divine Prospect on his take of it. I didn't see the video, so I can't speak in particular of everything that was said in the video. But just based off of what Elder Pastor said from what he watched, he pretty much, I'm not sure if that was Priest Anyala that said it or if it was Divine Prospect that said it, that the microchip can't be the mark of the beast because technology is constantly evolving or something along those lines. So I meditated on that when I heard it. I was thinking about certain things. Then last night, again, I thought about it. And I meditated on it. And I said, Lord's will, I would do a lesson on it today. Now, yes, technology is evolving because that's what the Lord gave these devils. He gave them the technology to advance, evolve, and, bring everything, to the next plateau, so to speak. All right, let's read the scripture and then we'll get into it some more. Daniel 12:4. But thou, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, meaning the Bible was sealed for a certain period of time. Then it opened back up when Elder Abba Bivens came on the scene. He came on the scene before the 70s, but he was teaching before that. But in 1970, 69, 70, that's really when this truth really started to really take root. There was men such as King Masha, High Priest Arya, High Priest Yaikwab, that were under the wings of Elder Abba Bivens. And pretty much, the truth started to grow from there. And then other men came in and so on and so forth. And we, at this point, we've entered into other men's labors. All right. So the truth was sealed. Then it started being opened back up. It says, even to the time of the end. So this was the time of the end that the apostles, which were disciples at the time, were asking Yahushua, will thou at this time, or actually show us a sign of that coming of the end of the world, meaning the end of the age. It says, and many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So this is what we're witnessing. We're witnessing knowledge being increased. So who is giving them this knowledge? The Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is giving them this knowledge. Let's go real quick to Isaiah 54 and 16. It says, behold, I have created the smith that blows the coals in the fire. So who was the ancient smith? The ancient smiths were those that made weapons, right? Kharash, craftsman, artisan, engraver, graver, artificer, skillful to destroy warriors. So the Lord is the one that gave Esau the modern technology of the smith. So who are the modern smiths today that create these weapons, create this technology? The scientists. So the Lord said, I created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. So even the technology that we have are instruments of the work of these scientists. I want to look up the word instrument. The word is kalaya. Article, vessel, implement, utensil, article, object, apparatus, implement of music. So utensils, furniture. So whatever you see technology-wise, it goes back to scientists that were cooking these things up in the lab, so to speak. So the reason why I say this is because the Most High is the one that gave them this technology, right? So let's look up the word technology. The application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, especially in industry. So these scientists were able to infuse certain elements, do certain things, put certain things together, cause, eventually through calculators and different devices and eventually the computer to what? To communicate with other devices. And this is what's happened. These are the instruments that they created, So this technology, that we have today is nothing new. It's something that the Lord gave them. So now let's move on. It says information technology, the study or use of systems, especially computers and telecommunications for storing, retrieving, and sending information. So pretty much what do? They communicate with each other. Devices communicate with each other. All right. And these devices that are communicating with each other, this technology has been around. Going back to the Lord that gave it to them, but also going back to whenever the very first of these devices was created. Like I said, calculate all of the electronics, they all go back to this technology, and they all communicating one with another. Now these are pictures of old computers, right? You can see how big and bulky these computers were, right? Big, bulky computers, and this was the technology of the time. All right. You have these big ass computers that communicated with each other, to bring about, the same thing that we see going on today. But back then, everything was bulky, heavy, because they hadn't come across the technology to be able to make them smaller. That's why you see these big ass computers that they had back then. And it was very heavy, very expensive, to carry them around. All right. So eventually what started happening? The technology started advancing and they started to become a little smaller. Then you had it's like the PC, but you see how bulky this is, how big it is. But this is a big step up from these big ass computers that they had back then. Them big bulky ass computers, right? Then you had, here goes another one. This was like a breakthrough, a deep technological breakthrough going back in comparison to what they had before that. All right. All right, let's move on. Then you had what? The personal, the PCs today, the personal computers. Then you had what? You had flat screens, and these flat screens that they had, made it less bulky, less heavy. You had laptops, which are smaller. You had cell phones. You had the big brick cell phones back then. Old cell phones. That's when they were known as cellular phones. Okay? These bricks right here. Then they started to be smaller. Then you even had the flip phones. But in essence, what is all of this? What's this? In essence, what is all of this? It's the same technology, but they just found ways to make the boards and different things smaller. As you can see, the evolution from this big brick all the way down to this little phone here. Now, is it different technology? No, it's the same technology, but they just figured out how to make it smaller. And that's pretty much the point. These big computers that they had at one time, today, they're personified in these smaller computers that we see today. Which a cell phone is nothing more than a computer. You know, these smartphones are nothing more than a computer. So let's move on. Internet of Things. The Internet of Things, IoT, describes a network of physical objects, things that are embedded with sensors, software, and other technologies for the purpose of connecting and exchanging data with other devices and systems over the internet. And this is what they want to do. They want to connect everything to the internet, including humans. So it's not, yeah, that's right. That's right. Like the Elder Menachem said, we went from big ass floor model TVs with the tube on the back to flat screen. Same technology, just smaller. All right. So, you know, I'm pretty sure you're seeing where this is heading. Things have evolved due to convergence of multiple technologies, real-time analytics, machine learning, commodity sensors, and embedded systems. Traditional fields of embedded systems, wireless sensors, networks, control systems, automations, including home and building automation, and others all contribute to enabling the Internet of Things. In the consumer market, IoT technology is most synonymous with products pertaining to the concept of the smart home, because everything is being interconnected. Internet of Things, interconnected. Smart homes, that's where you have the Alexa. You know, Alexa do this, Alexa do that. Back in the, what was it, the 80s, they had the technology of clap on. I believe it was the 80s. Clap on, you would clap your hands, the light would come on. You clap your hands, the light would go out. Well, now they're moving everything into smart homes, which is everything connected. Biometrics, whether a thumbprint, a retina scan, voice command, or ultimately what? The chip or some device they put in you that whether it's a big chip or a little chip, all the same technology. It's just different sizes. Nanotechnology is technology that already exists, just with the ability to make it smaller. It's not a different technology. So for Divine Prospect to say, if that was Divine Prospect that said it, if for him or whoever it was that said that the microchip cannot be the mark of the beast because technology is advancing or something along those lines, the more technology, the name of the title, right? The more technology evolves, the more it stays the same. All right, let's read a little more. It says, including devices and appliances such as lighting fixtures, thermostats, home security systems, and cameras, and other home appliances. In other words, what they want to do is they want to interconnect everything so that if you act up, they can either shut you down or they can have a way to override your commands on these particular homes and cities and so on and so forth. Because they want to have that control like the Most High has control. They want to be like the Most High. Matter of fact, let's get that. Isaiah 14:12. How about thou falling from heaven, O Lucifer? Lucifer means light bearer. Doesn't mean Satan. It's applied to the so-called white men, the Edomites. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Because they have this knowledge, this technology, right? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did is weaken the nations? Yeah, you were in such a lofty position. How did you fall from that lofty position? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, which they have. They're rockets, they're, planes, helicopters, hand gliders, you have the space shuttles. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High, which they did. That's why you have your space station, up there. You have your satellites in orbit, so on and so forth. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation, which are the Israelites, in the sides of the north, North America. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And this is why they want the Internet of Things, because the Internet of Things interconnects everything to where they have that power to control everything. If you get out of pocket, if you get out of line. This is the book of Micah 2, which we always go to this. 2 and 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And the word power is Allah, which means the God-like power that they have in their hands, and they're able to practice it. So Esau has control over the world. And this is why everything is being digitalized. All currencies, all transactions, all records, which is the last part of the root words of the word charagma, which goes to the word grapho, which is information, records. And that's what they want. All of these records are being transferred by signal on the internet. And this is what they're pushing for, the Internet of Things. So going back, it says that support one or more common ecosystems and can be controlled via devices associated with the ecosystem, such as smartphones and smart speakers. IoT can also be used in healthcare systems. And it has everything else. Also has the ability to transfer funds, which is what? Financial. There are a number, because what are people doing with their phones now? They're paying with their phones, with their smartphones. This individual from China said, if you go visit China, if you go there for vacation, be careful, because most places do not accept cash or credit cards. Because what the technology that took over China, for the most part, is what? Smartphone paying. Which a smartphone has what? A chip in it. And eventually that chip, they want to put into people. There's a reason when you go back to George Laurer, which was the inventor of the UPC code, or Universal Product Code. What was that product code set up for? It was set up for tracking. But now all of this technology that they have, not only can they track, but they found a way to store information on it. Records, driving records, criminal records, health records, financial records, grapho. All right. It says there are a number of serious concerns about dangers in the growth of IoT, especially in the areas of privacy and security, and consequently, governmental moves to address these concerns have begun including the development of international standards. So pretty much, the Internet of Things, which is what? To interconnect everything, including humans. This is why you have a term called transcendence. It says existing or experiencing beyond the normal or physical level. So in other words, taking people and putting them into cyberspace, so to speak, the Matrix. And you have this movie with Johnny Depp called Transcendence. I saw the movie. It's a good movie. And pretty much they uploaded his mind into this computer. You go back and you watch Lawnmower Man, which came out, I believe, in the 90s. The movie Lawnmower Man was this slow individual, special needs individual, that this doctor, you could call him a scientist, did an experiment on by taking his mind, connecting it to the to a computer, and expanding the growth of his mind by information being pumped into his head. And you could see the transition from when he first started. Then, after a while, he started getting better. He started getting smarter. That slowness started going away. And until he became so engulfed in it that he actually went into the computer himself. Which is all metaphoric of this IoT or Internet of Things to bring everybody into into cyberspace, like the Matrix. And that's what they're doing, pushing everybody in that direction. All right. This is Ezekiel 28:3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. Why? Because these devils search out many different things. Why? Because that's the spirit the Lord put upon them. Remember, we read about the smith that blew off the coals in the fire. They searching these things out. It says, with thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver unto thy treasures. So what is left, as I believe that was either George Gordon or not George Gordon, I'm sorry, either Edward Griffin or Eustace Mullins. I'm leaning more towards Edward Griffin. He said, when a person has more than all the riches that they desire, what else do they want? They want nothing but raw power over the people. Okay? It says, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. And then there's another verse down here. Let's see if I can find it real quick. All right, here we go. Ezekiel 20:17. Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness, which is what? This knowledge that the Lord gave them. This technology. Knowledge shall increase. I will cast thee to the ground, which we just read exactly in Isaiah the 14th chapter, which shows that this goes hand in hand with that. I will lay thee before kings, that they may behold thee. And that's what's going to happen. Esau is going to take a dive. So in here we read that they're wiser than Daniel. There's no secret that they can hide from them, right? Why? Because they perform a diligent search, and this search that they do with this wisdom that they have is corrupt. It ain't righteous. It's wicked. Matter of fact, let's read up the verse above, Psalm 64:5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter, and everything that these devils do is contrary to the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So they encourage themselves in an evil matter. Let's look up the word encourage. Chazak, which is to strengthen, and that's the encouragement. They strengthen themselves, in evil matters, because that is the true essence of Esau. That is where they get their power from. That's where they get their energy from. When you start speaking about the Most High and spiritual things, they can't hang with that. That bores them, because that's not the spirit that was given to them. Now you start speaking about wickedness, now you're piquing their interest. It says they search out iniquity. See, let's look up this word, search out. They search out. Remember, it says that there's no secret that they can hide from thee. Chapash, to search for, to search out, disguise oneself. And these devils, they do a diligent search, because that's the spirit the Lord got on them. To search for, to think out, devise. See, because their meditation is on this constantly. To search, test. That's pretty much it. So let's read that again. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Let's look up the word diligent. Same thing, chapash. Diligent search, to search out. So they're diligent in their search. It says they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is what? Is deep. Why? Because of the information that was given to them. That's why at one time they had this secrecy and they was more powerful, but now they're starting to lose that luster, that shine, because the light is shining on them. They're being exposed. It says, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. So all of this technology that the Lord gave these scientists, the Smiths and all that, the old computers, from the big bulky computers to the PCs, to the laptops, to the cell phones, cellular phones, to the cell phones, to the smartphones, flip phones, and all of that. Where does that all come from? It all comes from the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Exodus 28 and 29. This is the ordinance of Aaron and the priests that was given to Moses on how they are to be arrayed in their offices and things that they had to do, right? It says, and Aaron shall bear the names of the children of Israel in the breastplate of judgment upon his heart, right? Which is the ephod. When he goeth in unto the holy place for a memorial before the Lord power continually. How come the other nations weren't named on it? So wait a minute, Aaron. On the backside, we're going to put the names of the other nations for a memorial to the Lord, since all people are God's people. Think about it. It says, and thou shalt put in the breastplate of judgment This is a breastplate of what? Of judgment. It says the Urim and the Thummim. So now what is the Urim and the Thummim? Let's go to the word Urim. Aworium, which the word awor is light. Aworium is lights, plural. It says Urim lights, stones kept in the pouch on the high priest's breastplate, used in determining the Most High's decision in certain questions and issues. That's why when we read in Ezra, the 2nd chapter, where there were certain individuals that were calling themselves by the priest's name and other individuals that were calling themselves by Israelites' names, they couldn't find their lineage in the records. They said what? They had to set them apart until a priest or a prophet could stand up with the Urim and the Thummim to determine whether they were Israelites or not. What do you think that meant? That meant that the Lord was going to show a hologram, so to speak, as to look, these men are Israelites, these men are not, so on and so forth. So that's that technology that you see. What you're looking at right now on the screen, and you're able to see that, that's the Urim and the Thummim. These are signals that are being sent from one part of the world to the other through these satellites. These are images that are shown. So that's what the Urim and the Thummim was. Like they call it crystal ball, a crystal ball, right? So it says down here, it says lights, an example, lucid region. And then it goes on here, it says metaphorically, lights, metaphorically, revelations used of the sacred lot of the Hebrews, right? Generally more fully called, blah, 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 revelation and truth. That's what the Urim and the Thummim is. Revelation and truth. So just because they went from these big, bulky computers to what they call nanotechnology, right? Nanotechnology, right? Which is smaller particles. Does that change what it is? No, it doesn't change what it is. It's still the same technology, just with a different look. Just smaller. Hence, nanotechnology, small technology. Matter of fact, let's see what the word nano means. Delete that. Delete that shit, homeboy. Nano. I said I didn't ask you all that. Nano. Definition. Nano. For now, okay, nanotechnology. Nanotechnology, the branch of technology that deals with dimensions and tolerances of less than 100 nanometers, especially the manipulation of individual atoms and molecules. And that's all they did. They were able to split these atoms, molecules, whatever, and make everything smaller. But it's the same technology. How are they connecting all of these different devices? Why do you think Biden signed that executive order to have these different chips being made here in America? Now, the chips that he was showing were chips that go into vehicles and medical devices and things of that nature to make them run and be able to communicate with each other. But that could be extended to chips going into humans. The bottom line, that technology of communication is the mark of the beast. Because that is the wave of the future, digital currency, where no man will be able to buy or sell. It's unless he has that mark, unless he is a part of that infrastructure. And this is why these guys, these individuals that I say like Divine Prospect, Zion Lex, and others, what they do is they're looking for specific evidence. They're looking for specific evidence of the scriptures. And sometimes the scriptures are spiritual. Sometimes it's straightforward and physical. Sometimes it's spiritual. You know? So they're trying to find, the belief in the Most High by way of actual physical proof. You know, that's why they'll go to this documentation and that documentation, and well, this, according to this is really not, this isn't really valid because so on and so forth, and this scientist said, and this scholar said, and then you have this manuscript. The Lord ain't dealing with individuals like that. Very rare where the Lord is going to deal with somebody of that caliber. Now, is it impossible? No, it's possible because it's in the scriptures. But the Lord said not many, because they're not looking at things on a faith-based level. They're looking at things on a carnal level. Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith, listen good. Faith is what? The substance. So what is the substance? Faith. Now, what is faith? Faith, you can't see faith. Faith is a belief in something that you have not seen, based off of something that we've read in a book that we believe to be the Most High's word. That is faith, that we will receive these things promised to us, which we haven't seen the Most High. We haven't seen any proof of any of this, but through faith we believe it. So it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Do you have these individuals that have to have everything tangible? Okay, or this dated and that, and this particular scroll and this and that, and because this and this, that, and this individual said this in such and such year, at such and such a time, in such and such a place. And that's how they view, the justification of trying to break the scriptures down. Like those so-called theologians and apologetics like Dr. James White the Edomite. He likes to, argue trivial bullshit without getting into the scriptures themselves. You see? So it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, for by it the elders obtain a good report. I'm going to go back to this. I want to look at the word substance and evidence. It says, through faith, we understand that the worlds, everything that we see, were framed by the word of the Most High, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. So none of us were actually sitting there looking back, on the earth while the Lord was creating this thing, because nothing was created yet. So why do we believe that? Because it's faith. Faith, faith, faith. So now let's look at the word substance, and then let's look at the word evidence. Substance is hypostasis, a setting or placing under, things put under, substructure, foundation. So substance is a foundation. That which has foundation, that which has actual existence. So that's the substance, faith. And that substance is based off of what? Things that have not been seen yet. And then we have the word evidence, because they like that empirical evidence, right? Elencos, or proof, that by which a thing is proved or tested. Conviction, see? So that evidence, that substance is what? Faith. Because we've never seen these things. And that's why certain individuals that are always trying to, that's why Esau can't get it. Because Esau tries to take the words of the Most High and try to understand it physically. Every dot, every point, every letter. It's not like that. All right, so now let's go to this one, 1 Corinthians 1. And I'm sorry, it's the second chapter. I was in the right chapter. 1 Corinthians 2 and 13. Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth, but which the Holy Spirit teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual. And the only way to compare spiritual things with spiritual is what? You have to be spiritual. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 14. And let's see what verse that is. 37. I started at 36. What? Came the word of the Most High out from you, or came it unto you only? If any man think himself to be a prophet or spiritual, let him acknowledge that the things that I write unto you are the commandments of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And it goes on to say, but if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. Because we don't have time to fuss back and forth with you. That's why we don't waste our time with these debates. It's a waste of time. Because out of all those debates that they had, Kemet, all the different Kemets and the Hebrew Israelite debates and all that, what changed? Which one of them came over to this side? They didn't stop when their boy Polite got smashed, by Captain Cleanup, Captain Tazariak. Why didn't all of those people that believe in Kemet leave that and follow the Hebrew Israelites and join the ISUPK? Because it's a waste of fucking time. That's what it is. All it is to be able to have the bragging rights. Oh, I won the debate. Like when Dr. James White the Edom had the debate with Bubble Eye Blackfish, Elder Rakah of the GOCC. He won in his mind because he's coming with that bullshit. But had it been dealing with the scriptures, it would have been a different outcome. So they do it to have those bragging rights, to have a corruptible crown. All right, going back, it says, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High. Why? For they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. And there are not many individuals out there that are spiritually discerned. That's why these Old Testament heads can't get this. Because they're trying to get it like Esau get it. But he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judge of no man. For who have known the mind of the Lord, that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of Yahushai. And we know that Yahushai was rejected many times by many Israelites. It's no different today. So pretty much, to recap, the name of the lesson being, the more technology evolves, the more it stays the same. It's the same technology, but it's just in a different shape, a different form, smaller. We showed you how, as a matter of fact, let's get that again. We showed you how the same technology they had back then with these old computers, big bulky ass computers, and then how they transcended from these bulky computers to smaller ones to these type here, to the flat screen, to the laptops, to these brick cell phones, to the regular cell phones, to the smartphones, which the smartphones are nothing more than mini computers. And that's all that happened. So for them to say the mark of the beast can't be the RFID microchip because technology is changing, they really don't understand what technology is all about. And they don't realize that that technology that they're speaking about goes back to the Most High's Urim and his Thummim. The Urim and Thummim. So with that, I pray that you brothers have been edified. Until the next time I say, Shalom.